Hey Bart in Warsaw, Poland. Matthew here in Durham, North Carolina with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses with Transitions Gray and Crizal Alize for your RayBan 2132, color 622 in the 52 eye size. Of course, 622 is the black rubber frame. Let's take it out of the case. Of course, this is your black leather, Italian leather RayBan case, your RayBan cleaning cloth, complete with the junk mail, because you just don't get enough of it in your mailbox or in the spam on your email account. So this is how they send it to me. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to prevent the temples from rubbing together during shipping, and of course that's how I'm going to send it to you. It comes with the heavy glass G15 lenses. That is glass, and let's go ahead and take them out. You know how you can tell if it's glass? It sounds like this. But I'm going to take out the heavy breakable lenses, and I'm going to install lightweight unbreakable lenses. I'm just going to clean out any adhesive that might be inside your frame, and I'm going to put the frame into the tracing element of my edger, wake it up, and hit trace. And everyone wants to know, how does the machine know what shape to cut? This is how. A stylus is going to come up and it's going to trace the inside of the right side of the frame before moving over and tracing the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you receive free, clear, single vision prescription lenses. And this RayBan 2132 New Wayfarer sells for $140. You paid $50 for the Transition 7 Gray feature, and then you paid another $40 for the Crizal Alize, bringing the total up to $230. And it's free shipping anywhere in the United States, but international shipping costs $35 for me to get it to you in Poland. Now, your pupillary distance is a total of 67, which is 33.5 in each eye. So I'm going to program that for 33.5 for the right, and then it's automatically flip over and mirror that for the left. So let's go ahead and come down and get your lenses prepped. Your right eye reads minus 275, minus 75 at 180. In fact, the axis on both eyes is 180. That rarely happens. And of course, from a straight line from 0 to 180 is 0. So I'm going to put the axis there. And I'm going to give you all the manufacturer's original packaging. This is the right lens. This is the left, which is minus 175, minus 50. Where's my pen? This is the right lens. This is the left. So I'm going to take your right lens out of the protective packaging, pull it out of the sleeve. You actually have a little laminate on the front of the lens, just like your sleeve. They put that on there to protect the front surface of the lens during shipping. I'm going to take that off, put your lens in. Let's see, the power is minus 275. I'm going to spin the power drum to 275, and I'm going to rotate your lens until the sphere power comes in clearly. I'm going to get everything lined up just perfectly. Check your astigmatism, which I'll explain in just a moment. And I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, which are hard for you to see, so I'm going to darken them. That is 1. That is your optical center in the middle, and then this one over here on the right. And let's mark that one right. Let's do the same thing now for your left lens. Take it out of the protective packaging and take off the plastic laminate that protects the lens, and I'm going to spin it back to minus 175. Put the lens in, my dusty 101 Marco 101 lensometer, that is. And let's go ahead and put 3 dots on here now that I've located the optical center of the lens. And this is the left lens. And let's bring everything back down here. Bart, I gotta thank you for speaking English, because I'm a little rusty on my Polish. So, your right lens, the reason why I put those 3 dots on there is that it tells me which way to line up your lens, that it has to fit in there just perfectly for you to see your best. So this is a block. This needs to be applied to your lens while it is cutting. So I need to put a double-sided adhesive sticker on here, which I have done. And I'm going to peel away the paper, making this side sticky. The black side is the sticky side. Now there's a little silver button on the back. That is a magnet. It's going to do 2 things. The first is to hold it in place in this arm, and I'm going to move the lens around until I put that center dot right there. Now the blue cross is the geometric center of your lens. Your optical center is slightly inset from there. And then this is going to be lined up to where those other two dots gives me a straight line meridian. Oops, I got that off the optical center. My OCDs make sure I have to cut this thing perfectly, because I'm not going to drive over there to Poland to correct this. I would, but I just can't. So I hit that button, and that's going to drop the arm down and apply the block to your right lens. Let's do the same thing now for your left lens. Pull the paper away to make this side sticky, and put that little silver button in there and get everything lined up just perfectly. And again, already it mirrors the right side, so it automatically comes up 33.5. I hit that button, the arm drops down and has applied the block to your left lens. Now this is where the silver magnet holds it in place. I'm going to grab that right lens. Now the actual cutting wheel is on the far right hand side of the machine. It's the one with that white residue on there. That's what's going to grind away your lens material. And this wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley, that's what puts the V-shaped bevel onto the lens, so it's going to stay inside the bevel of the frame. I'm going to, again, the silver button is going to hold it in place in the chuck, or as I like to say, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. But I'm going to bring up the shape onto the computer, and I do not want to polish the edges. I don't want to actually even put a bevel on the front surface, but I will put one on the back surface. And that green arrow is start no matter what language you're in. So the door comes down, that clamp shuts, and in just a moment those two white calipers are going to trace the shape of the right side of your frame. And of course it's showing you the front surface of the lens, so that's what it's doing. Now it does this twice because it's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point as it goes around to know exactly where to place the bevel, so your lens fits into the frame perfectly. It could move the bevel forward or backwards. I know that's opposite of what I'm showing, but if it moved the bevel forward, that would make the lens sit backwards. If it moved the bevel backwards, it would make the lens sit forward. But it's going to do that so the lens fits best inside your frame. Now in just a moment you will see your lens touch down on the cutting wheel. So your lenses are made out of polycarb. This brand calls them airwear because they're light as air. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. It is bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every few hours when you're in the sun. Do you get the sun in Poland? Oh, just kidding, I know you do. And of course, if you notice, your lens is completely flat around the edges, just like a nickel, which is the 5-cent coin here in America. And of course, for the third time, it's measuring exactly where to place the bevel so it fits best inside the frame. And it's just about to drop down onto the bevel wheel to give it a knife-like edge. So it goes from flat to knife-like, so it sits inside the frame. Now, the other feature that you got, of course, you got the transitions, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, but you have the Crizal Alize. Anti-glare is 3 features in one. The first feature is that it eliminates glare when driving, particularly driving at night in the rain. But from street lights, stoplights, computer screen, overhead, fluorescent lights. The second feature, the reason why it goes by the initials ARC, which stands for anti-reflective coating, is that it greatly reduces reflections. So when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. They're looking at just your eyes, so it makes for a much better eye contact. Plus, if someone takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. You'll see just your eyes. Now, the third feature that I like is that Crizal puts the best scratch coating on all of their lenses. The machine that applies the Crizal anti-glare costs well over $1 million. It takes 24 hours to vaporize 7 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and expense of doing that, they put the strongest scratch coating on there. Now the other thing I need to do is dry your lens off so it is not slippery while I'm working with it. Your lens, the Crizal anti-glare, is a hydrophobic coating. Hydrophobic simply means hates water. Don't worry, nothing's going to happen. See that little swarf that I'm peeling off? That is optical sawdust. But I'm just going to remove all of that, and let's see if it go ahead and fits into your frame. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. Then using my thumbs, I just press down at the nose and it snaps right in. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Flip that over to L and put that in. The magnet holds it in place and hit start. The door is going to close, the clamp's going to shut, and then those two white calipers are going to trace the shape of the left side of the frame to make sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame, and it is. And of course measuring the thickness of the lens at every point. So the lens is mounted perfectly inside the frame, and of course it is. You have no edge thickness protruding from here. That's what you're always going to get because I send nothing but the thinner, lighter weight lenses unless otherwise specified. Now let's go ahead, and I'm going to, as your left lens begins to cut, come on, cut, left lens, come on, cut. So I'm going to go ahead and verify the prescription. Wait, I need the flashlight. And if you notice, I blocked out all your personal information just so people don't come to your house and say, hey, where'd you get your glasses? They don't email you and harass you at all the times. And as we say, I've blocked out the names to protect the innocent. Although after corresponding with you with several emails, I don't know how innocent you are. You remind me a lot of myself. That's why I don't trust you. Anyone who thinks like me cannot be trusted. Sorry, little joke. So I'm going to put it in over my red dot, and I'm going to measure your prescription. I'm just going to verify, and I'm getting minus 275 for your right eye, which is one tick mark away from 3. I'm going to spin the axis wheel until your astigmatism comes in correctly, and I'm at minus 350, which is exactly halfway between 3 and 4. The way this works, the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, and it starts at 0, which we in the business call Plano, which other people in Texas call a city, but everyone else calls non-prescription. I'm sorry if any of my English humor goes over your head, Bart. Trust me, my jokes are just as bad in Polish. But, so it starts at 0 and goes up in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, and so on. So let's see, 3 would be 12, so you need 11 steps of correction for your farsightedness. Without your glasses on, everything is wonderful from here on, but outside arm's reach, everything gets blurry. So you need 11 steps to minify. That's why there's a minus sign. Your lenses do not magnify, but they minify down to the correct size. Now once it's the right size, we have to correct for your astigmatism. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It simply just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It can fluctuate. It comes and goes. It is no big deal, relatively speaking. So, remember high school algebra where you add two like terms together? Well, forget high school algebra. Whoever liked it anyway. Using today's terms, if someone had borrowed $2.75 and then they borrowed another 75 cents, they would owe you $3.50. So we're at $3.50. The same thing for your left eye. It actually is much better. It only needs 7 steps of correction for your farsightedness, and it only needs 2 steps of correction for your astigmatism. Now these first 2 numbers are real values. This last number, which is 180, 0 to 180 is a straight line. If you think of astigmatism as the fine-tune knob, we're just going to turn that knob starting at 0. We're going to pass the 90th meridian, which is the vertical meridian, all the way back over to here, which is 180. So honestly, these first 2 numbers could be any value. Well, actually, these are the ones to be concerned with. This last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. This just tells us where to turn that knob to make everything nice and crisp. So I'm going to take your lens out. I'm going to dry it off. Make sure there's no optical sawdust or swarf around the edge of your lens. I'm going to take your frame. I'm going to start by tucking your lens in at the outside corner, and using my thumbs I press down at the nose and it snaps right in. Now years from now, Bart, if you ever need new lenses, you don't have to purchase another frame. I can send you lenses only. In order to take these lenses out, if you notice, I'm always pushing down with my thumb. And you know, using a dirty thumbnail works best, at least on short notice. Next video, I'll have a clean thumbnail. How's that? But in order to take these lenses out, you turn the frame downward. Now, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to press down with my right thumb. I grab the lenses so it doesn't fall. With your left hand, you can torque the frame ever so slightly. You're not going to hurt the frame, providing it's at room temperature. Now, plastic does get brittle in very cold temperatures, so if you leave this in your car at night, I wouldn't suggest doing it first thing in the morning. But I'm just going to pull backward on the frame while pushing down with my thumb. The lens pops right out in order to pop them back in. And of course, as you know, I have one pair of prescription lenses and I pop them into a different color frame every day. At least I did until I got this one. And now my lenses, it's the same frame that I'm wearing. My lenses would fit into your frame. In fact, if you don't believe me, let me pop out my left lens and I'm going to pop it into your frame. There's that. I'm going to take your lens and put it into my frame. There, it snaps in just like that. So again, I'm going to use my thumb and press down while pulling back on the frame ever so slightly. Let's do this again. Let me pop my lens back in so I can see what I'm doing, yo. I mean, and by the way, everyone gets not only their RayBan cleaning cloth, but I provide one of these, as well as instructions on not just how to care for your glasses, but for your cleaning cloth and case, so they will last you for years. So, let's go ahead and pop your left lens back in, pushing down just like that. I'm going to go back over to my lensometer. I'm going to put it in just above that red dot, which is your optical center. Put it in, and I'm going to read minus 175, which is one tick mark away from 2. Check your astigmatism correction, and I'm at 2 1/4. That's because if someone had borrowed $1.75 and then borrowed another 50 cents, they would owe me $2.25. 2 1/4. So that is made perfectly. Your pupillary distance is 67. So I'm going to turn this piece of paper around. I'm going to place the 0 on my PD stick against my thumb. And then when we measure on the left lens, we're getting 67 millimeters. So that is made perfectly. And this is the time, as I clean your lenses, that I mentioned to you that if you get these in the mail and they're too loose or too tight, there's a very small chance of that. However, there is an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I am no exception. I am part of that 80%. But at least here in America, that's why 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, my right ear is lower than my left, and so that's why they have to be adjusted so they sit level on me but not level on the counter. I flip them over, press down. There is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. None of the temples are askew like that. So, Bart in Warsaw, Poland. Of course, not only that, I also include a photo request. You could be my first model, my RayBan model from Poland, to be on the website. So please keep me in mind. So if anyone has any questions about what I can or can't do, or where I can ship or can't ship to, which is nowhere to both questions, there ain't nothing I can't do with a lens and a pair of glasses. But just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Oh, wait. Bart, hang on. I have not demonstrated your transitions. So, this is what they look like clear. I'm going to go ahead and expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light to activate them. Now, as you will see, it takes about 30 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, about 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now, Bart, this is important. Pay attention. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks. They're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're behind the windshield in a traditional car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's ultraviolet rays that would cause your dashboard to crack. So that's why they don't turn dark in a car. Now, as soon as you step out of a car, they will get dark, or if you're in a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken too. Plus, they're temperature sensitive. They work better in cooler weather. They just don't get as dark as they do when it's 100 degrees outside, which I don't think you get in Poland, but who knows. So this is the first first time they've been activated. Again, Bart, don't worry, they're going to get much darker. This is just the first time. Remember, we talked about this. Come on, don't you remember this? So that is that. Now, Bart in Warsaw, Poland. Hopefully you enjoyed watching as I made transition lenses with Crizal Alize anti-glare coating for your RayBan 2132, color 622, which is the matte black rubber, and the 52 eye size. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.